Hey YouTube family, today I'm going to be talking about unrealized potential. Are you one of those people out there who have loads of potential but haven't realized it as yet? Stay tuned to find out. Yes! American versatility in the flesh. Now today I wanted to talk about something that is really heavy on my heart, and it's about unrealized potential. Now when I got incarcerated, I literally went from never being in a setting like that to going all the way to the major leagues. It's kind of like a kid going from high school to the NBA. I mean, it's definitely a culture shock. It's a learning curve. And I definitely was kind of like a deer in headlights at first. But I had some good dudes, man, that looked out for me. It's not all bad people in prison. There's a lot of good people in there. Of course, we know the statistic that more than half of individuals in our prison systems are nonviolent offenders. It's just my opinion, but, nobody can tell me that they're not good people. They just made some bad decisions. So one of these individuals I wanted to talk about was a close friend of mine. And this is us on the yard, Mr. Larry Melvin. He's a partner out of big homie out of Chicago, man. And I have such a heavy heart because I found out recently when I got out that he passed away. He wasn't even out for 6 months before he ended up passing away. Now, the reason I'm highlighting this individual is because he was a very good dude, man. He was an older cat, and he looked out for me while I was in prison, in terms of he definitely gave me some knowledge, showed me how to conduct myself in certain ways that I may have been a little rough around the edges in navigating my environment. And, he was always somebody that when I would talk to, we would talk about positive things. We would, keep each other motivated and uplifted on the future. And, so, man, he was just so instrumental to me and my time being incarcerated. And my heart is so heavy, like I said, because he didn't even make it 6 months with when he got home, when he got released from prison. Now, I will say this. This is no fault of anybody but his own. And this is why I want to talk about unrealized potential. Now, my friend, he had a problem when it came to drug use. And that ultimately ended up being his demise. A lot of people don't realize, but having an addiction can hold you back from being so grand and really realizing what your purpose is on this earth, because it has such a hold on you that it dictates your motivations and your actions and your behaviors moving forward, because you're really just focused on that addiction instead of, like I said, your purpose in life, the meaning, adding value to other people's lives. And my friend here, man, he left behind 2 young boys, and it really just, man, like I said, it hurt my heart, because I know that they were depending on him to show them how to be a man and to come home and be a great father to them. And he had all the best intentions. We talked about this. I knew his mind state, but so, that addiction had a hold on him, and he wasn't able to realize that potential. And so I wanted to share this story because I think it's a lot of individuals out there who are not realizing their potential. What people don't realize is that I was also, using drugs, and I was definitely a heavy alcohol consumer before I got incarcerated. I actually don't do any of the sort now. I am completely drug-free. I am completely alcohol-free. I'm actually a vegan hybrid. So, I mean, I really cleaned my act all the way up and got super aware and conscious of health risks. And I think it's really boded me well, because I'm able to stay that much more focused now when it comes to my journey ahead in life. So a little bit of background on my buddy here. He actually went to college. I believe he went to the University of Iowa. He served his country. He's actually a former Marine. And then he was doing really well for himself in, I believe, he was from Chicago. So he was in the mortgage, real estate business, and he was doing really well for himself. Unfortunately, he decided to cut a few corners, and that is what led him to be, go to federal prison. But all in all, man, he was a good dude. There are so many stories like that in prison. I knew about so many guys. I met former athletes who were in the NBA and NFL while I was incarcerated. I met former politicians. I met mayors of cities. I've met chief of police of certain areas. I've also even met probably one of the most famous guys that I met. He was actually a senator in Pennsylvania while I was locked up. So there's so many guys, man, who were doing well out in the world, but they had these demons, these skeletons in their closet, these addictions that really had a hold on them and ended up being their ruin in the long run because they weren't able to kind of get that under control and be disciplined about it. Now, I've only been home a few months, and I definitely don't like to, pass judgment on people. But I think that prison is a microcosm of society. So I believe that if there's individuals who are struggling with addiction and addiction has a hold on them and it's causing them not to realize their potential in prison, that there's also a segment of the population that's the same way out in the world. And so this is a video dedicated to you guys, dedicated to anybody who may know of someone, or you in particular, if you may not be realizing your full potential because of an addiction, because you're letting something control your life more than it should be, or because you completely need to cut it out cold turkey, then please, take heed my advice. And man, because the world needs you. The world needs you to shine your light. And like I said, I believe that there's American versatility in you. I'm definitely planning on shining my light because I know that previously, before incarceration, that was not my best effort. And I'm all about being a service to my community and to my world now. And I want to encourage everybody to be the same way. I believe that it's going to take a grassroots movement. We can't depend on our president or anybody else to make our world a better place or to make our community safer. We all need to start from the grassroots, doing our individual parts, and then of course that will resonate on a larger scale. Well, that's my soapbox for today, guys. From zone 1 to zone 6 and all my partners in the sticks. Y'all be cool out there. And remember, we out here building, not destroying. Take care. So I want to dedicate this video to my big homie, Larry. Just want to say, man, Larry, I love you, brother. I know you looking down on me, wishing me well. And, thank you for making me a better man. And even though you didn't realize your potential, I definitely plan on realizing mine. And it's thanks to you. Thanks. And I love you, brother.